Okay.
This is a rocky
I'll tell you what. Okay. First of all, no, I know. First of all, seriously.
I know, they just love
First
you,
of all,
don't they?
I would like to say I'm humbled by your support. but seriously, none of us like John Heilman, but you have to applaud that loudly when he gets upset.
I mean, it's mean.
And I mean, actually,
This is actually for Ed.
that was for Ed Rendell. But I want to read. I feel like I'm on like Johnny Carson where the monkey's crawling on
Ed,
top
you're
of the
very
head
popular.
Here. No, I want to read this line from the David Sanger piece. This is one of the most amazing political stories, chilling, I've read in quite some time. Proving the source of a cyber attack is difficult, but all the forensic evidence points towards Russian intelligence agencies as the perpetrators of the theft, given the close similarities, and it goes on, and talking about how it's clear that Russian intelligence agencies leaked these, believing that it was either directed by Vladimir Putin or that they were doing it to please Putin to help Donald Trump.
Fairly high up in the body of that story is a key paragraph that the Russians, through Russian computers, have been linked to hacking at the White House, not only the Democratic National Committee, the State Department, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
They're good at that.
Yeah.
All right, so joining us now, former chairman of the Democratic National Committee and former governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell.
I'm sorry your tenure as mayor and as governor ended as badly as it did. These people loathe you, obviously. So you talk about you were the head of the DNC, a very effective head of the DNC, and you actually shot straight, even in 2000 during the recount. Upset a lot of people, but talk about the responsibility that you felt you had to be fair and play it straight.
I felt an enormous responsibility. I was a friend of the president, President Clinton. He asked me to be DNC chief in November of '99. I had 2 months to go as mayor. I said yes. I was elected in December, and I had given Al Gore a personal check for $1,000. So I got a call from Bill Bradley. He said, "You gave Al Gore $1,000." I said, "Yes, Senator." He said, "You should give it to me, to be fair." And I said, "You're right." And I wrote him a $1,000 check. Chris Hayes said last night, "You're lucky there weren't 16 candidates."
That's a good point, though.
But are you disappointed by what you've read? What would you do if people in your organization, when you were DNC chair, were actually saying, let's question the faith of Bill Bradley?
I would fire the people who did it. And let me tell you, I am Jewish. I'm a non-practicing Jew, and I was highly offended by that. I can't imagine how Bernie felt. I mean, I believe our relationship with God is extremely personal. You don't necessarily have to be in a building to have it. And to question a guy's faith is just the lowest thing in politics. I couldn't believe that when I read it.
I got 2 questions for you. One, are you still cutting $1,000 checks to people? And can I have it? And then 2, would you, if you had control, let Debbie Wasserman Schultz take the stage tonight and for the close?
That's a good
Well, let me preface it by saying I really like Debbie, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't, number one, for her own good. Right. Because it's going to be messy when she gets up there.
And she's running in a tough re-election fight. It's not good for her
Not
to do
good
it.
for her. Debbie is very single-minded, very dedicated. She worked very hard, but she's stubborn and she wants to see this thing through. I can understand it, but I think the Clinton campaign, and I've tried to send messages through the airwaves.
Well, you are now. Yeah.
You're making it
They're
very
watching.
clear.
I just think it's wrong for her and it's wrong for us. Look, we had a problem with getting all of the Sanders people to vote for Hillary before this happened. And we had come up to, I think the latest poll showed 78% of the Sanders voters were willing to vote for Hillary. I bet that number's significantly lower today. We got a lot of work to do. And anything that exacerbates that situation, it's important to get rid of it. I think the secretary has to, heard her statement on the air listening to you guys. I think she's got to be strong. She's got to be forceful. And I think a lot rests on Bernie Sanders' shoulders now.
Governor, you've been as dialed into anybody in Democratic politics. As you've watched this campaign play out and what you know about the DNC, do you think the Democratic National Committee had its thumb on the scale for Hillary Clinton?
Sure. Did it affect the outcome much? Not at all. They're pretty ineffectual, and DNCs are always pretty ineffectual. No, the DNC is by nature ineffectual in a primary. There's not much they can do. When they kept Bernie from using the voter files for a couple of days, the Sanders campaign obviously did something there that was wrong, but that wasn't the remedy. That wasn't the remedy. Look, you've got to not only be fair, but you have to have the appearance of being fair. It's very important, and it can't be minimized.
But don't you think if they had 16 debates or 26 debates as they did in 2008 instead of 6 debates, that would have helped Bernie Sanders at least be exposed to the public?
How do you know it didn't put the thumb on the scale? What if something,
Well,
happened?
I'll tell you this.
Would be debate that never happened.
For example, Hillary was 5 or 6 points ahead in New York.
Yeah.
Going into the debate in Brooklyn, she won by 16.
Yeah.
Hillary, you can trace, I would say Hillary won 80% of the debates with Bernie, maybe more. Maybe more.
And I gotta say, Bernie, I mean, we talk about this being a close primary. In honesty,
He
it
had
really
a
wasn't as close
huge-
as people play it up. She lost by much more than she lost to Barack Obama in 2008. So I think the governor's right on this one.
Okay. Well, former Governor Ed Rendell, thank
Thank you so much.
Still ahead. Will Sanders supporters vote Trump? NBC's Chris Jansen sits down with a group of Democratic voters talking about the lingering wounds from their party's primary. Morning Joe coming right back live from Philadelphia.